Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody all around the world, and thank you for joining us today for another Left 4 Dead 2 competitive shoutcast. My name is MK. I'll be one of your shoutcasters for today, and of course we have Vanille back as the camera woman for today. She'll be showing you the screenshots for this game. How you doing, Vanille?
Good, you?
Doing all right. Getting excited for this match, and also with me I have the one and only legendary caster himself, Mr. Rails Barlow.
Hello, MK. I am super excited for this match. We are in the fourth round of the loser bracket of the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament 2021, and this match between Skyrise and 44 Biceps is a single game EU elimination matchup. The winner of this game advances in the tournament, and the loser is out. And honestly, MK, this could be either team's game from what I've seen.
Yes, it could be. Both of these teams have been through quite a bit. They made a bit through the winner bracket, and now they ended up here in the loser bracket. This will be one of the matches going on this week. There will be another one also between Ice Cream is Cold and Mad Sad Bad. And the winner of this game will also play the winner of that one to advance the following week to actually play the Favela Boys, which I'm looking forward to those games as well, Rails. But right now on the Dyescrayper, I believe it's going to be maps 1 through 4 we're going to be playing, and I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, and this is going to be, like I just mentioned, the fact that it's a one game on Dyescrayper means the stakes are that much higher. Like, you can see this map played either 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 when you do a home and away match, but if it's a one game like this on essentially green ping for both teams, you know, I think that's really going to benefit Skyrise a bit. We actually just saw Skyrise make the grand finals of the AOC Cup as well, which they, unfortunately for them, lost to Team Sad Boys, aka MSB, who are also still alive in this tournament. So we expect to see some high-level play from both teams, but as we've seen Dyescrayper throughout the years in the community as well, MK, it can be a hell of a lot of chaos on that way to one of these two teams winning.
Yes, this map is actually, my personal opinion, one of the better custom maps. I believe it's actually rather enjoyable to play. It has a few unique choke points, some fire that the infected can play off of. But it's interesting playing this first tank. It looks like it's going to be around 54%. So I do believe survivors will get to a little bit more of a favorable area and not have to fight it early in the small rooms of this, I guess, this miniature hotel building or skyscraper, whatever you really want to call it. But other than that, with one more ready up, Rails, we're about to actually get this game live, which I'm actually excited about.
Indeed, we are. We expect an intense match, maybe not one that's going to last a lot of time, because if wipes happen on this campaign, because it is 4 maps, we can see this go rather fast. But this 54% tank, like you just mentioned, I think that's actually one of the more difficult tank spawns here on map 1, if it spawns in the alleys that the survivors have to go through. They sort of like have to run into this series of tunnel hallways thing underneath the map. But with that said, we are going live. The GLHFs are going out. Let's see exactly what happens in this game. It's Skyrise on Survivor first. 44 Biceps on the Special Infected. For Skyrise here, we're going to have Kreisha, Frey, Venom, and NF Meister, aka Maxim, and they're going to drop into this first hit. We just see a smoker pull going out onto Ellis with a jockey intercept, landing onto Coach. That charger, though, was unfortunately not able to spawn until now, landing onto Ellis once again for a bit of damage. MK, that's a good hit by 44 Biceps. We have a pause. Who are on their roster?
Indeed, and actually 44 Biceps, we're going to have... I believe it's going to be Peanut, Ferocity, GP, SRG, and X are on for Team 44 Biceps. And actually, we are already going live. And actually, after that first attack went in, they took about 12% off of the health bonus. So they're sitting a little bit on that, and they're coming up about 35% progression through the map. And the spawns are coming up, which is going to be a Boomer, Spitter, and the final spawn. Actually, Boomer's going to go in and get a proxy boom onto 1. The Jockey Hunter and Spitter looks like they're going to elect to wait and not go in. And that's going to be actually probably this attack for their next spawn is up, Rails.
I like the idea by 44 Biceps there, too, because they get that boomer out of the way. They're really hoping for a charger on this drop hit, but I think the survivors are wise to it and are probably going to try to drop before that last spawn is up. The Hunter is pre-spawn, looking for this wall kick, going in, going to land it onto Kreisha with a spit going down on top of that as well. Jockey's going to land on Kreisha in the back, too. That's a lot of spit damage going out there, MK.
Yeah, it was. That's going to take Kreisha down, actually, and another one down to 55. Oh, they almost get a death pull, but it was nicely cleared. One survivor did say with his friend, but right now the tank is not even up. They've taken about 29 damage off of their health bonus at this moment, and this will be the first tank of the game for 44 Biceps in the hand of Peanut.
Okay, I want to mention something right there, because I thought that tank was going to spawn while the survivors were in the tunnels, and indeed they were, but that tank did not insta-commit, I don't think, because they sent a hit right before that. I think he actually might have been able to take the room from them. I would be interested to see exactly if Team Skyrise will try that on their SI, but Evoker, aka Peanut, is going to try to make this work as best he can. He has a Charger and a Hunter in the spawn queue. Everybody is 4 punches. He's being shot through that wall, though, chipped by Maxime right there. Let's see if he's able to commit with this. It's going to be that Hunter, Jockey, and Charger. That's probably what he wants, and he is going to roll it in, already down to about 5.3k. Jumping on the table, getting his first punch, though, onto Krycha, who's stuck in the ceiling. Another punch going out. Melees are on him as well. Retargeting there is the tank onto Nick. Hits going in. Hunter's going to land. Jockey is going to get M2'd and shut down. The Charger did not land either, and the tank actually wasn't able to get that in cap because the survivors went over those air conditioning units, MK, so it's decent damage, but Skyrise still looking somewhat healthy.
Yeah, actually, they do manage to survive the tank. The bonus did suffer pretty bad. It was 21%, all the way down to 27, but the damage bonus is intact, along with 1 set of pills. So they did take it pretty well, not too bad. Of course, there's usually a 2-2 after the tank. It's going to be a Spitter, Boomer, Smoker, and a Hunter. We should see the spawns go relatively quick, maybe, because this may be actually the last attack of the chapter, depending on how this attack goes. Boomer tries to get a boom onto from the car alarm, is unsuccessful, doesn't get nobody, and also when the boomers pop, does not trigger the alarm as well, so we might see the SI try to hold right before the safe room and get one final hit, hopefully to get a Charger, but there also may be a Jockey depending on the rotation coming up, Rails.
Exactly. I mean, if the survivors are still fast on this map, they can really pressure the SI into hitting right here. This is really the only chance they're going to have in this slight alleyway. They are going to get the Jockey, it looks like, instead of that Charger. So the Smoker's going to get a pull onto Coach in the back. Spit goes down onto nothing. Jockey and Hunter still trying to come in. The Jockey does land, but the Hunter gets shut down. That is going to be Team Skyrise making the safe room with those 500 distance points and still 466 bonus to their names. Total score 964 to start this match off. And I'll say this right now, MK. I'm not trying to jinx Team 44 Biceps, but if a team gets far ahead here on map 1, it can be extremely hard to come from behind, especially when you're playing against teams of this caliber. We're going to need to see 44 Biceps somehow shut that tank down, even though it does spawn a little bit. It spawns right above that staircase, essentially, while they're still in those hallways. If Team Skyrise can take advantage of that, they could be looking at a multi-100 point lead going into map 2. That's the exact opposite of what 44 Biceps is looking for.
Exactly, and actually, just like you said, where that tank spawns directly above them, it'll be interesting to see if Skyrise is going to elect to push that tank immediately, not letting them get the room. There may be a few commons in there to interact with the survivors as that commit goes, so anything can go at this point, and also depends on what spawns will be up in that rotation. So, just like you said, Rails, I'm going to be real interested to see how Skyrise is going to take it, because when a tank just pushes in, anything can happen at any moment, especially when spawns are up.
Indeed it could, and it's going to be contingent on that tank getting that early corner as well, I believe. But right now, let's see what Team 44 Biceps can do on that survivor side. They're going to be dealing with a Spitter, Jockey, Charger, and a Smoker from Team Skyrise. Jockey goes in, instantaneously cleared by that M2. Charger does whiff. Spit goes down for a little bit of damage, and actually that's 34 damage off of free Spit, MK.
Yeah, it is. Look at that health bonus. 14% it is down to. Actually a little bit better than the other side that did go, but it was interesting to see none of the cappers really did much, but all that spit damage, like you said. And actually all survivors are except for Ferocity, are going to be 4 punches already, which that could be big playing into there. But next attack coming up is going to be a Jockey, Boomer, Hunter, and a Charger. They do not have the Spitter for close quarters, which they may want here, and it looks like they might hold for the drop. I think they're going to hold for the drop, Rails. They're not electing to go in yet.
I think this is a really interesting play from Skyrise, because the thing is, if they go in and land here, which I think they're going to try to do, they don't have the Spitter for it. They can still get some decent damage, but that Hunter's actually going to go in trying to wall kick and scratch from the top. He is going to immediately die, but the tank is going to be up in the hands of Venom, and you see by waiting, right? They're going to wait for the survivors to try to push the room, and they sort of can't with this hit up. They're going to have to try, but they're going to try to keep them in the hallway instead. Charger's going to go in, is going to get instantaneously cleared, but this is exactly what I was talking about, MK. Boomer's going to get popped. This is such a worse position for the survivors to fight this tank. The tank, though, is going in without support, but he is going to go on the one survivor who is boomed. That's going to be Verz, I think it is, getting cornered there. Body block attempt going out, but already so much damage going out from those multi-punches being hit. The rest of the SI support is going to come up, but the tank whiffs a punch there. Gets a punch now onto Nick, retargeting now onto Nick into this corner. He's going to be looking for that down. Rochelle struggling to get this clear, barely managing to get it as the tank is still alive, going for the corner onto Coach. MK, I didn't mean to caster curse them, but that's exactly what I thought Skyrise should have done.
Yes, they did. And they're going to end up getting the wipe. I don't think they're going to be able to get this clear from these pistols. The tank's just waiting for it. So Team Skyrise is going to wipe 44 Biceps. 44 Biceps chapter score is going to be 241. The Skyrise is 964 after map 1 rails. And just like you said, they're taking a commanding lead on a 4-chapter campaign in this tournament.
Honestly, that is something that I think, first of all, if it was any other tank spawn, I don't think they have that scenario exactly happening, but Skyrise were wise to save the rest of the hit when the survivors dropped into the sewer. That's just something that you have to... I think the advantage that they actually got was going first there just a little bit, but it's more of a map knowledge thing because 44 Biceps sent their hit. They had a decent tank, but that's the 700-point lead now that we see going into Skyrise's favor. 66% tank on this map, I mean, we're really going to have to see some stellar special infected play coming out from 44 Biceps to try to get this back under control because these maps are all worth such a large amount of points. Let's see if Skyrise can continue the momentum on Survivor's side. They're going to be dealing with a Charger, Boomer, Smoker, and a Jockey MK on this first hit.
Yeah, it's not a bad opening attack. There's a lot of separation. A little difficult to make a play on this alarm car around the outside. It doesn't look like they're going to try at this moment. Could be potential for a lot of damage if this boom lands. Maybe a little challenging for this high caliber of play to get a boom off that roof, but let's see what they do. Survivor's going to push out. A Smoker's going to be by the utility truck. Lands a pull. Charger misses. Jockey gets practically skied, and the Boomer doesn't land on anything. And that's a nice shutdown by Skyrise with only 3% coming off the health bonus on the opening attack, and now they're going to hold W and get forward on this map rails.
This is one of those campaigns that I'll say is definitely geared more towards shotties. We're playing 1.9, but at the same point, it's so easy to rush some of these hits. They have a pretty good balance right now, I think, with 1 shotgun and 3 Uzis, just because the first part of this map is rather open, right? But as it gets closer, I think, to tank, and maybe even after the tank, we're going to see them try to get those close-range shutdowns. It's a green ping game, so they should be able to. There is a Jockey landing with some spit going down onto Rochelle. Boomer going last, landing the single boom. They should not touch this gun in front of them right now because that will actually just cause more commons. So they're just going to blitz past it instead. I think we're going to be seeing this tank sooner rather than later, but probably in an area that favors the survivors.
Yeah, exactly. Most likely, don't know how far back they're going to run it, but right now, they're just holding W, getting through these before the next spawns are up. It's actually going to be a quad cap attempt. It's going to be in close quarters here. I'm interested to see what the SI are exactly going to choose to make a move on it. And actually, they're going to choose to go in now. Charger's going to come from the front. Doesn't even make it to the survivors. Hunter's pouncing around after the Smoker got killed. Jockey does land. I think Jockey was the only thing that landed for a moment, and that's a quad shutdown. And survivors are now going to push on to this tank spawn and rails. Before this tank even spawns, survivors are going to be at 85% of their health bonus, and it's going to sit at 1385 free tank.
This is going to be really interesting to see exactly what happens on this tank. It's going to be up in the hands of, let me see if I can pronounce this, GQSRG, right? So that's going to be the tank having to climb up here, not getting chipped really for anything. He's going to have to find his way either around the back or he has to commit from those doors that we kind of see there right next to that crashed military vehicle. I think they're probably going to want a 3-cap here because landing a boom in this area is rather difficult unless they manage to get it from underneath the survivors, but Rochelle is watching that on the really on point here for Team Skyrise, and the tank's going to be rotating all the way around to the back. Boomer is going to land a single boom, but I don't think the tank is close enough to commit on that quite yet.
No, definitely not. He has quite a ways to go. It looks like he even punched a car, which is not even possible to get there, but he has a Smoker and a Charger for his commit here. He's going to be wait for that last spawn probably before he goes in. He is unchipped, so he's going to go in with a full 6K. Second pass, about 60% frustration. And dropping. Actually, it's getting pretty low. And he looks like he's going to come from the top. And okay, this will be the commit here. He's starting to take chip. Smoke looks like he goes for a way too early pull. Tank is not. Actually, Tank's able to get the corner off that. Gets 1 punch onto him, a second punch onto Nick. He's still pretty healthy, too. He's going to get this in cap at half health. He's still at 3k HP. He's down to 2,000 now. This is going to be the final go in with the tank. The pull goes out, does miss. Hunter's trying to find Charger miss. Tank gets a punch. Another pull goes on to Coach, but the SI is clear, and this tank might get 2 in caps, and I think he might be dead before he gets in. Nice. Tries to get a nice jump off the ladder, though, to punch another survivor, but that is a dead tank. 2 in caps, rails. Not too bad. Unfortunately, the SI were not able to really do much of anything to help him.
That pull I originally thought was just going to get cleared with absolutely no negative impact on the survivors, but instead that actually leads to the tank's first corner. This event here on 1.9 is down to 90 commons, by the way, so the survivors can stand here. They have 2 survivors bleeding after the tank. That was almost a wipe, but the thing about it is the survivors were able to shut down that Charger and Hunter in a very open area. That Hunter, however, is going to land with a jockey landing onto Rochelle as well. Spit damage going out onto Kreischer for a bit more chip, but that is obviously not the wipe that Team 44 Biceps were looking for. It's really, really difficult, I think, to stop a good Survivor team on this map, just because now they are able to hold that W button with their 2 shotties in the front, looking for any chance that they can just to shut down maybe 2 more hits, I think, before the safe room. They're going to go for the button. There's still going to be Common trailing behind, but they can pretty much outrun whatever they want. There's no reason for them to rush right now, though. Boomer, Hunter, Charger, and a Smoker for the next hit from 44 Biceps, and really, I think this is going to put Skyrise squarely in control of this game. Charger is going to whiff onto Ellis there, gets a punch for his trouble, but no real damage going out on that MK, and the survivors are going to W key forward now.
Absolutely. Look at that bonus sitting at 743. It is post-tank. It was at 8, I believe 819 after the tank, so they managed to get about 80 more of the bonus off of the survivors with the 2 SI hits post-tank. So right now they want to do a lot more damage on this last attack. They'll have a little bit of calm as it trickle in, but where the survivors can put themselves is almost impossible for the infected to really do much damage. And it's going to be a 2-2. Hunter immediately gets skeeted right away when spawning. It's going to leave a jockey by himself to not get anything. A 2-boom goes out. Free spit does land for a little bit onto Coach, but that bonus is going to sit at about 711 to post any more common punches that get in before the elevator opens. And this is going to be the map for Skyrise, and they're going to make it with a great bonus. And it is actually going to be, I believe, 704?
Something like that,
704 bonus with a chapter score of 1,404.
That is a huge lead for them to have going into this next half. But I'll say this, I mean, you saw how fast Skyrise were able to make that map, and it's obvious that they've practiced enough at least to understand the flow, where they're like, okay, we can make the SI hit when we want them to hit on Survivor side. The same thing can happen, though, for 44 Biceps on Survivor side, too, especially with a tank that's in that wide open of an area. They just need to not get boomed, and they need to not get frazzled by the fact that they're down by this much going into their Survivor half, because this map, next map, are just worth so many points. There's still a chance for him to make that comeback, especially on map 3. Finale, I wouldn't hedge your bets on it because there's still 2 tanks, I believe, in this version of Zone Mod, but they need to just not get rattled, screw looking at the score, and try to shut down each hit as they can. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, Boomer for Skyrise on the first one here.
Indeed it is. It looks like Boomer might want to come from behind. 2 SI are going to come from the roof. Actually, they do manage to get the proxy boom onto 1, but it looks like it might be more of just a sack to try to get another, probably a spitter for the closing area. It looks like the survivors are going to press out. Let's see if the infected want to make a play. Nope, they're already just running forward. They just want to save all that separation with a spitter to see what they can get on this next attack. As survivors are holding W, and actually only 1 SI went in. They're already 30% through the map, and I believe they're even going to run out this building before they even get their hit up.
This is a situation where I think I might actually want a spitter instead of the quad. They have a chance at doing a lot of damage when the survivors come outside here because they can rocket off the roof. That Hunter's already pre-spawned up there. Jockey's looking for it. Smoker's going to pull from behind, it looks like right now, but they need to get some kind of damage onto them because this is a map that we just saw, you know, Skyrise make short work of on Survivor side. If they can't get a good hit here, the survivors might be able to push all the way to the inside with extremely good health. Smoker pull does go out in the back. That's a beautiful intercept by the jockey. That Hunter's looking for the pin. There's the triple cap going out, though. Coach having trouble clearing that Smoker, and it's still going out onto Ellis. That was so close to a wipe MK, and they got all that damage without needing that spitter like we were just talking about.
Yeah, the rolling tri-cap did go in the rails. Charger was unable to find its target. This pull jockey was almost instantaneous. They do manage to survive, but that bonus suffered a little bit, down 24%. Still sitting at 1,293. It is pre-tank yet, so they haven't had their tank, and since it was a quad cap attempt, always followed by a 2-2 with a jockey and a charger as the cappers. And actually, this could be pretty good for this close area here, having this 2-2. So I wouldn't be upset having this. Having a charge and maybe getting the boom and the spin on top of that could be potential for a lot of damage. But the boomer gets M2'd and shut down for his troubles. Charger gets a rocket charge. I don't know about setting the charger first. Spitter gets picked. And that SI just gets deleted there, Rails. A little bit of a misplay, if you ask me, by the SI.
I agree. I think they rushed it just a little bit. If the survivors had been able to get into these hallways, there was a lot closer spawn for that charger, but everything sort of came from one direction. And now this tank in the hands of Maxime, aka NF Meister, is going to be up with a good amount of work to do. It's an area where the survivors could shut him down. And actually, the tank's going to spawn in sight. He's going to get chipped just under 500, essentially, for his trouble. That's a good start for 44 Biceps. They know they need every single ounce of damage they can possibly get to shut this tank down and then just try to make this event. They can probably hold out as much as they want, especially if they manage to only have one bleeder or something like that. And it looks like the SI are going for this boom, managing to land it onto Rochelle, but I expect them to commit with another open field 3-cap there. MK, I would prefer a jockey instead of a charger.
Yeah, I agree. They do have the Hunter and Smoker as a support at this moment. The tank is already down about 508, actually 450 HP, not too bad. The health bonus is going to be sitting at 1,285 before this tank commits. So let's see exactly what they can hold after this tank is over. This might be the commit right now. Actually, they're going to have the charger, unfortunately. And he's taking some chip right here, down about 700 HP. The early pull goes, but gets cleared before it gets the survivor off. And it's actually the smoker dies. So now only has two. The pounce is going to go out so the tank can get a corner. Gets a rock onto Coach. The charger does land. He gets a second punch onto Coach. But this tank is about to only get another rock, one more punch, and that's going to be it probably for that tank.
That smoker pull was way too early. I think you mentioned that pretty well there, and it didn't turn out the same way that it did on the last half where that tank was able to get an in-cap off of it. Instead, it's one down and a little bit more damage going out. They need a couple other decent hits to really knock this bonus down, but right now 44 Biceps are able to keep this. They have 827 bonus aggregate as they're going into this event. It's really not a tough event for them to deal with. Nick is going to get boomed, and he is also playing with the highest ping. Jockey's going on to him as well. That's all the damage bonus that they're trying to get onto Freoxy, and his team is just absolutely nowhere near him. That is a surprising amount of damage, and that means Skyrise is going to win this round.
Indeed, they already have done, and now the pills are being popped. It drops it down even more. So as of this moment, they're already down about 90 points, and they still have about 2 more attacks to take for 44 Biceps, so they want to get down through this hall. We should see them shut down this attack and just hold the S key to this safe following this next attack, which is going to be a Boomer, Charger, Hunter, and a Spitter, 2-2 for the next hit rails.
Indeed it is, and that's a great hit, I think, to be saving for the survivors when they go forward. But that Boomer's going to swap on the side and trigger the alarm car that is hidden inside that wall. Another little trick of Dyescrayper Redux right there. That alarm car, obviously not in the normal path of survivors, but that proxy boom is going to extend this horde by quite a fair amount. 2 survivors bleeding, 1 set of pills, no reason for Skyrise to rush this hit.
No, not at all. And right now, since they know the bleed, actually, SI is actually going to go in, but the Charger was not able to land. Hunter does land for a little bit, gets shut down. Not much damage going out there, but there is some chip going on the bonus. I mean, bonus is down to 547 and dropping, so they have that to deal with. One more SI attack, I believe, and then they should make the save from rails. I think there's one more left.
I like the idea, I think, by Skyrise there, because I think they were going for a charge spit fast, and they're going to get another one as the survivors are working their way outside. Boomer is not going to land. There's the pull, and the charge going out for a double charge with the spit going down on top of that as well. Great hit there by Team Skyrise, making up for the fact that they sent that other one in as the survivors were able to shut it down. That one they were not able to shut down, obviously, and that bonus is down to 413 right now, so it's going to be another 300 points going into Team Skyrise's favor at the least, as the survivors are working their way to get inside. That means the total is going to be just around... I actually think it's going to be over 1K by the time that the survivors make it into the elevator. Jockey landing on Rochelle. Triple boom, quad boom rather, going out with that smoker pull onto Ellis. Hunter landing onto Nick, knocking that bonus down and down. 326 is all they've got left. That's going to be Ellis just barely making it to the safe room, but this game is squarely in Skyrise's favor. 2,368 to 1,253, MK.
Yeah, it looks like they're sticking out. I believe I do my math correctly. 1,115 point lead going into Chapter 3. Of course, it is not out of the realm of them making a comeback yet due to the amount of how many points there are in these 2 chapters. But like you said, the finale is tough to come back on with tanks. So this next chapter is going to set the scene for 44 Biceps. They're going to want to get a wipe with their infected play, and they need to make the safe room with a respectable bonus to make a possible comeback on this finale rails.
Yeah, and 71% here on map 3 is not the spawn 44 Biceps you're looking for, I don't believe. just because it's going to be in a very open area once again with all those hospital beds that are set up in that kind of mall area, right? And the thing that surprised me the most about that last map is the fact that I think there was a better tank played by 44 Biceps in a lot of ways, but then the tank for Skyrise was able to get an in-cap, and then it was the hit after that where things really seemed to just not go 44 Biceps' way with that random separation jockey on the one survivor who was up top. I was really surprised he didn't get cleared. This is something that's just kind of seeing Team Skyrise's chemistry get better and better as we go along. Let's see if 44 Biceps can do work right now on the SI side. This elevator is an absolute troll. It opens and closes by itself as the survivors are trying to work their way out of the safe room, but it is that 2-2. Hunter Jockey Spitter Boomer looking to go in. Nice double boom going out. Beautiful skeet though going out by Maxime, aka NF Meister, shutting that Hunter down. The Boomer does get a double boom, but MK, really nice take once again by Skyrise.
Yeah, even though the boom was out, the Hunter still got skeeted. Minimal damage on the board, just 3% done to the health bonus. Actually down to 4 with a few of those common chips from the Boomer. But they're just going to hold S and take this choke point before the infected are completely up. It's going to be a Smoker, Charger, Hunter, and that final spawn is going to be a Jockey. So this is actually going to be a quad cap attempt for Team 44 Bicep. There's going to be a pull going out. Charge goes out. The charge misses, unfortunately, and the Jockey gets bullied for his troubles. And that's going to be a quad attempt shutdown. But the health bonus did suffer all the way down to 83%. So
if
not as much damage, but I think they wanted more than that, Rails.
If you notice where that survivor got pulled, right, that's also a death charge. So the Charger was going for the quad play, but it's so unfortunate that he wasn't able to see that setup just right as it was going in there. There was one survivor as well in between the Charger and the Smoker, but that is a spot where a death charge can happen. So let's see exactly what happens here, though. That's going to be a nice pounce landing. Jockey landing as well for the intercept, and the Boomer's going to jump in and get a double boom. That is a decent amount of spit damage off of that 2-2. Those are the kind of hits that we want to see if we're 44 Biceps fans.
Yeah, it was great damage, and luckily Ellis had a corner to hide in from that pond of freaking spit, so he was safe in the corner. But he did take quite a bit of damage. Has 2 survivors down around 50 HP, one at 47, one at 54. And the health bonus at 1190 before the tank is even up. And another quad attempt actually is going to be coming in any moment. Let's see if they send it in fast or if they're going to wait after they start this event. Actually, they're going to go in right now. The pole goes out. The pole is not able to go out. Jockey does land. Charge lands, but not till the Jockey is already cleared. Charger doesn't get a pound either, and the Smoker gets cleared at the end as well.
Hits are definitely getting better, I'd say, for 44 Biceps as the map goes on. They're going to try to spawn the tank now, however, though, before this event, and I think that's a good call from the survivor side. This tank's going to be up in the hands of X himself for 44 Biceps. If they want to win this game, MK, I'm saying right now, they need a wipe.
Yeah, this needs to definitely be a wipe. No ifs, ands, or maybes. Even if they make the safe room with just the distance, it'll be hard to make a comeback with that. Boomer just gets shut down, unable to get anything. There's going to be a Jockey and Hunter as support. And if I was the SI right now, I would probably want a Smoker as the third SI, because getting a Charger into this area is almost impossible.
Yeah, and the tank is just going to try to play, I think, as far away from the survivors as he can pre-commit, because he can't afford to get chipped down. I'd say even 400 more. There's no real need to play a rock tank either. It would be nice to be able to do so, but that Charger's going to sack. They're looking for the Jockey, Hunter, Smoker. Really, really survivor side area, as I mentioned before, just because you see all these beds that are spread out, plus the kiosks that the survivors are able to jump on. They're going to need those separation SI to get the survivors off of those kind of unreachable places for the tank. And if that doesn't happen, I mean, the tank can get it down on his own most likely, but he's going to need his support to really, really land here. They're looking for a 3-cap or something else like that as the tank is going to start working his way in. He's going to smash those glass barriers to shreds as he runs in between the beds, but he's getting Uzi'd a lot by Team Skyrise, missing his first punch as well onto Ellis, missing a second punch. He's trying to get Ellis into the corner, and he finally does. Double cap does land, but the Hunter's already dead. That's finally going to be the corner out onto Maxime, but that is all this tank is gonna get. MK, he missed those first 2 punches.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. When you ever go in with your tank and you have him already in an area where you got him almost cornered practically, missing those punches were pretty big. But either way, unfortunately, the SI was unable to try cap after he got the corner. So right now, Skyrise is set to make at least all the distance on this map, which almost, I think, guaranteed the match rails. This might be almost it already.
Really nice boomer pop going out there by Maxime once again. Charger's going to be trying to go and managing to land with a spit going down, but the survivor who got pounced was the target of the spitter, and the spitter did not land on top of that kiosk either. And looks as though the survivor who got charged as he got cleared also got like popped a little bit away from where that charger initially landed. So things really just not going Team 44 Biceps' way at this point.
No, and survivors are going to push to a little bit more favorable area, just clear commons. The SI really have only one way to get in there, and it's pretty easy for the survivors to shut it down. So they're just going to wait out the sword. Actually, they're going to send it in now. Boomer gets popped. Jockey gets shut down, not able to land anything, and Smoker as well. So the SI got 0 damage after that attack, as they were sitting at 712 bonus before that SI attack went in. And now we're just going to see the survivors hold S and progress on this map.
Yeah, they took that in the exact right spot. Absolutely no damage going out, like you mentioned. It's so hard to have SI land in there because they can pretty much just pick them as soon as they climb the special infected ladders, and then if they try to come through the windows or that walkway in the center, as long as the guns are paying attention, they can really shut them down. Nice wall kick, however, going out onto Rochelle. Jockey is the last thing to go, and the spit spreads up as well, so Krycha is going to take a lot of damage from that.
I think the spit filled up the entire room. He had nowhere to go but to run out. So the bonus did drop about almost 200 points from that attack, from 712 to 520. So again, 44 Biceps need to do that at least 2 more times, but they are making a way through the map, and this is almost safe from rails. This is going to be the last attack with a Charger, Spitter, Hunter, and a Smoker.
So the meme here on Dyescrayper Redux is if they had a jockey, they would be able to really drop the survivors down that ladder, but instead that Hunter goes in for a wall kick, gets skeeted by Krycha. Charger is going to wait. Smoker is on the side, maybe trying to get a pull, and that's indeed what he's going to get, and that Charger is going to stumble Ellis, but the spit does not go into the stairwell whatsoever. The Smoker is the last thing alive, going for an insta-pull, not going to land, and I think that's going to be Team Skyrise making the safe room once again, and they still have a solid 427 bonus. 27.7%, 3,496 for Skyrise to that 1,253 for 44 Biceps. This is a blowout that I don't think we expected, MK, and the only way to turn that around is going to be if 44 Biceps have an absolutely flawless chapter on Survivor side.
Yeah, I mean, they really have to like triple that bonus practically, or at least double it. That it's amazing how that wipe on Chapter 1, how much it matters. The fact that they weren't able to make the safe room with just the distance, and Skyrise had such a commanding lead of 900 bonus after Chapter really set into play. Plus they won Chapter 2 by about 300, and with the way they did this Chapter, Rails, it's even possible they take even more of a lead depending how this tank fight goes.
Yeah, and that map 1, like, it's insane in a 4-map campaign that something like that can happen just because of that particular tank spawn, but it's also, I think it comes down to a map knowledge thing. Nice hit going out here, 35 spit damage going on that Hunter pin, plus a quick jock. They did also get cleared rather fast, but the damage was already done. And it kind of reminds me of Swamp Fever in that regard, because if you have a team that makes Swamp Fever map 1 and scores like 1k to 1.2k points, and you have an early tank wipe, that's something that you just can't have happen in the playoffs, right? And this is a situation where I think 44 Biceps, they had the tank first that way, and they probably realized after they sent that other hit, oh, it spawns at a really, really advantageous spot for the SI. You know, Skyrise were able to take advantage of the fact that they lived that on map 1. Let's see if this pounce spit does damage, as Coach is going to be inside that cubicle, and he has to take a long way out of it as well. Huge amount of damage going out onto him, and this is just another example, I think, of once you have that kind of momentum, MK, especially on a custom map, Skyrises have not let up this entire time.
So they have not. That would be the second SI attack going in, and 28% of the health bonus was already taken away from them, and they have not had the tank yet. They're coming up at about 50% progression through the map. Tanked at 71. Boomer, Jockey, Hunter, Charger go in. Looks like the Boomer just goes in to sack himself as the other. Actually, looks like nope, the Hunter's changing his mind. Maybe, I don't know. He's undecided what he wants to do right now. But the survivors are pushing into the theater room, and they're going to actually, the SI is going to wait for that final spot to come up, and it's going to be a Spitter or a Smoker. Let's see what it is. Spitter.
That's going to be another great amount of damage potential, and just as I say that, there's the pounce landing. Charger's going to go try to stumble inside Ellis's body, but does get melted. That was looking a lot worse than what it just was. 1444 Biceps. That was a clutch play to kill that Charger. And the thing is, they aren't entirely out of it yet. There's a wide open area where they can kill this tank. If they can make it with a higher bonus, then we have a conversation for map 4. But they're going to need to play pretty much everything flawlessly and not afford some of the wall kicks even that we saw go out onto Skyrise on their last Survivor half post-event. Smoker's going to spawn up top looking for a separation pull. Not going to land. Tank is up in the hands of Kreischer himself for Team Skyrise. Charger, Hunter, Boomer here. MK, I expect to see them send this hit.
Yeah, they'll probably get the support that they want right now. It is going to be Kreischer just punching out some windows. The Charger's going to sack himself. Probably the Boomer as well. He actually does manage to get a 1 boom under Rochelle. The Hunter's going to hold himself, so he's going to have a Smoker and a Jockey for the support on his commit, which is probably exactly what I would want to in this area, being so wide open. But right now, if you're 44 Biceps, they want to be able to kill this tank without him getting 1 punch. Because if he just gets 1 in cap, that might be definitely GG from here, because they need to make this map with at least 4-digit bonus or high hunters. Looks like they're actually going to try to play a little rage game with them, try to AI this tank.
Oh, they're trying to bot him because I think that's the only chance they've got. And you know what? The SI are spawning in the front. They're going back to the theater. He's gonna be in, but I don't know about this call. Smoker pull is gonna go onto Rochelle, is going to get clear, but the Smoker is still alive. Kreischer missing his first punch, but now he's got the corner onto Evoker. That's gonna be a shotgun in the back, making him go down to 2k HP. Smoker is gonna die. Hunter's gonna get killed. Jockey does manage to land. Tank throwing a rock, letting it onto Freoxity, getting a follow-up punch onto him. Kreischer doing work in this theater. 2 downs going out, MK. I don't like that call.
No, I mean, I know what they were trying to do, but his rage was too high. I think they were trying to run back to the movie theater to make that tank go AI, clear the SI, and just run him around the chairs, but unfortunately, still had about 40% frustration by the time they got back there. So, again, it was a bit of a misplay. Charger actually goes in where the spitter gets picked, so it's unfortunately not going to land. Boomer's going to roll himself in for a 2-boom, but still, the bonus is down to 522, and they needed a lot more than that, Rails. A lot more.
Yeah, I have a feeling that unfortunately for 44 Biceps is going to be essentially GG, especially now that they've pissed Skyrise off by trying to AI the tank, I'm fairly sure. And that Charger landed a triple charge. The Spitter got picked in front by the 1 survivor who was still up, but we have 3 survivors now in full bleed, 1 set of pills, and an event to get through that has 90 common and also 2 parts, because they have to wait for that gate in front to open before they're able to progress forward. It's going to be a good hit as well for Team Skyrise. Hunter, Charger, Jockey, and a Spitter looking to get any kind of spawns on the survivors in a really tough area. Let's see if they manage to make that happen. Hunter somehow manages to land. Charger lands onto Nick. I cannot believe that charge landed, but the Death Spit's going to go out as well. That's almost another down onto Freoxity, and now this is just looking worse and worse, MK, unfortunately, for 44 Biceps.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, that Charger kind of rocket charge has landed immediately at the same. A few moments after that Hunter landed, it was a nice distraction by Skyrise. Managed to get that charge spit. Bonus is down to 328. They have a Boomer, Hunter, Smoker, and a Jockey next attack. And this attack could probably do almost practically nothing. As the Boomer gets a 1 boom, Hunter's going to go in and just get skeeted as scripted. Smoker tries to go up and get something. Not able to. Jockey is actually just going in at the end, not getting much of anything.
Still not dead!
I don't know what the heck, he was just jumping around like a fool.
I mean, hey,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, that delays the survivors by a couple more seconds, and they're about to have 3 survivors slow, with the only survivor being fast being Ellis. Let's see if that actually has anything to do with these next couple of hits, because they have to push forward and still hit this button to progress, and this is a nasty choke right here. Hunter, Charger, Spitter for the hit for Skyrise. Boomer coming in as well for that sweet proxy potential. Let's see if they manage to make this work. Hunter's going for the wall kick, not going to land. Spit does go in. Hunter manages to land in front on Coach now with a proxy boom, with a death spit. Does not go up the table, MK. They are still alive, but just barely.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to make the safe run. They might have to deal with a few more SI before they make it. Bonus sitting at 286. I believe Skyrise again won another round, but they are not able to kill 44 Biceps, so they're probably going to make the safe room. The next attack is going to be a quad cap attempt. They're going to have that Jockey for the ladder, but it's going to be difficult to land it, but anything's possible. Looks like they're going to go out early, get an early pull on the Coach, which lands the pounce covers. Charger's unable, Jockey was unable to land. All right, there he does at the end, but again, the bonus down about another 100 points, Rails. We're going to go in here with less than 200 bonus.
And that's just, you know, an aggressive SI team with the lead that they have. They're able to send those hits at their pace pretty much as fast as possible. They could have waited for that ladder, but there was really no need. They're going to be up by over 1,300 points, 3,496 for Skyrise, 2,129 for 44 Biceps going into this finale. And like we mentioned, this finale really is not the comeback map because you've got those 2 tanks to deal with. The survivors can shut them down, but in any case, you know, for 44 Biceps to make any kind of comeback here, they are going to need to get an instantaneous wipe, maybe even a death charge, and then play this finale flawlessly, which can be very hard to do.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And there's also another good thing about this finale is we have the jankiness of the coronavirus ball, which can come into play, which usually won't affect anybody with this high tier of gameplay, but the tank can be killed by this coronavirus ball.
So okay.
Put that into play.
Fun story about that thing, the spiky ball that's on this map. That was originally removed back in, like, I want to say 2015 or 2014 for CCT3. Everything dies on this first hit. That was a 2-2 as well. And it was replaced by a globe, right? And I'm not exactly sure what made the spiky ball come back, but that thing can incap survivors, it can launch tanks out the window, it can do essentially whatever its heart desires if the survivors don't know about that. But it's actually kind of perilous for the SI too, because we've seen multiple tanks just try to get that hittable under control and then just warp through the side of the Skyscraper and fall to their death.
Yes, exactly. Definitely. There actually will be a few death charge opportunities. I wonder if they'll make it. But no, Boomer goes in, doesn't get anything. Hunter gets skeeted, Jockey lands for a little bit. Just about 2 or 3 ticks of damage, it gets cleared. It looks like that Charger is trying to get a cheeky charge. He's gonna go for it, go for the death charge, but doesn't even make it through the door, and that's gonna be the SI attack.
Yeah, that requires the Charger to be just absolutely perfect in terms of getting into that space between the... I think it's the space between the ladder and the railing, or actually it's the space between the 2 railings there, rather. And that is something that you just don't expect to see happen in a high-level game like this. Skyrise are shutting down absolutely everything as they work their way to the button, and they're probably going to play maybe in this corner here, because I don't think Spit spreads on those boxes. We're about to find out. Yeah, see that? So it goes underneath everything there instead of actually landing on top. It's probably the best spot for the survivors to be, so long as they have the firepower to shut down those rocket spawns.
Yes, indeed, it is a little bit more of an advantageous spot for the survivors due to Spit not spreading on props quite properly, but actually looks like they're going to hold up by the coronavirus ball instead. Looks like they get a nice jockey separation, but is unable to get around the corner, and the other SI were not ready to make a play on it. So actually, that's their quad stack now. They don't even have the quad cap, but they're going to send the other 3 cappers in. The pull goes in, gets cleared right away. Hunter does get skeeted, Charger misses, and that's another SI attack shut down.
A nice easy skeet there by Frey, and the thing about this area is you can see above the survivors, they can rocket from there, but the survivors still have a lot of space to play, and they don't have to worry about anything coming from behind them. They can just look to their right and their left and then just basically Uzi everything down that tunnel. That's why you see Frey sitting exactly where he is, playing Nick, blocking those spawns, and if he needs to, he can just hold his S key back into his shotguns there, and pretty much everything should be shut down, I would say. They're actually running 3 Uzi and 1 shotty with Kreischer playing constant shotgun, which I think is a good call for a spot like this. But you see Ellis, Maxime trying to get on top of the COVID ball, and his team's probably like, please don't do that, because there's a chance that that thing props off its stand and just plows him into the ground. There's that smoker pull going out onto Coach, Jockey landing as well. Hunter going for a kick off the ceiling, but a nice skeet going out by Venom. A little bit of free spit damage, and MK, this horde's already, I'd say this first wave is already about half over.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And the SI attacks, they opened the safe room, managed to only take 21% of the health bonus off. They haven't been doing much with their SI attacks, but again, this finale isn't heavy damage output by SI after this event has started due to how wide open the spot is. Survivors are going to shift over to the pool area where it's a little bit difficult for the tank to get his corner, and the SI attack right now is going to be a 3-in-1. With a Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey. They're going to go in real quick. Hunter does manage to land. Jockey, I believe, came the tank. Charger missed, and they elected to hold that Boomer. This will be possibly the last tank, more the second last tank of 444 Biceps in the hands of Ferocity.
Yeah, Ferocity
getting his ball.
He's trying to get the COVID ball in, but you see it just kind of spins in place sometimes too. And this is the dangerous part of it. You see, because it goes near the window. Oh god, oh god, oh god! He literally almost warped out of the window there for a second. Double boom does go in. He's decided to leave the hittable. Going to be committing on the survivors in this pool area, but he is nowhere near that early pull that his team just tried to get for him. The smoker's still alive, though. There's the down going out onto Nick. He still has 2.6k. Hunter gets a nice stumble. Punch going out onto Coach, and Rochelle is also pinned. This is the wipe that 44 Biceps might be looking for here. Down going out now onto by Freoxity once again. Onto Venom. There's the jockey landing in the corner. Tank is going to get the lockup onto Ellis, and there is the wipe going out. MK, that is easily the best round we've seen Team 44 Biceps play so far, and they have a long way to go in terms of winning this, but this is the one chance at a long shot that they have.
Yes, indeed, you are correct. So let's try to do. They're down about 17 points. This map is 800 distance. So they're going to need about 60% of their total score. So I believe if it's 2 win caps, it's GG, but they're going to need a hefty bonus, or a total of, I guess their Venom did it for us. They need 919 bonus to get the W.
Honestly,
44 Biceps.
That's in the realm of possibility, but there's only one way they make it happen. And the way they make it happen is they're going to have to, like, they tried to essentially cheese the tank last map by making it go AI, but they might need to do the thing on this finale that you can do to tanks that aren't ready for it, which is you can bounce in between those 2 hallways and then make a commit in a really bad spot. But like you just mentioned, if they get 2 win caps on this, I think it's probably GG. The health bonus total, though, in terms of points for this map is 1,760 points. Boomer gets immediately shut down by X. Smoker, Hunter, and a Spitter for the rest. Hunter gonna get shut down too. Smoker goes for a pull, but instantaneously cleared. The momentum has definitely shifted MK, but this is a situation where Skyrise are gonna have to rely on their performances through the first 3 maps that got them this lead in the first place.
Exactly, I agree with that, but right now, 44 Biceps, the opening attack, they suffered no damage. Not even any common chips have gone on. They're still sitting at 100 possible points of that they can earn. So that is a good start. But the second attack has a potential for a lot more. But they actually don't have the Spitter. So if anything, that's in 44 Biceps' favor now. The Boomer tries to get a 1 boom, and he does get it. Hunter actually pre-spawns around the corner, but I don't think they're going to go in rails. I think they're just going to wait for that Spitter to get back in the rotation.
Exactly. 44 Biceps are playing their hearts out on this finale so far, but the SI just need to basically not panic, right? They just have to wait for another good attempt to get that maybe pounce charge spit, or pounce spit charge, rather.
Charge!
And end the game exactly like that. The jockey lands, and like we mentioned on the last half, that charge needs to be perfect. There was his setup. That was a perfect hit, and Skyrise throw that entire talk out the window of a potential comeback by insta-killing Freoxity. And the rest of his team were so worried about that hit from the front that they were able to get that double, just amazing teamwork from both those SI, the jockey and the charger. That's going to put an end to this, and that is going to have Team Skyrise advancing in the lower bracket of the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament to play either Team Mad Sad Bad or Team Ice Cream is Cold next week after the match that we have on Sunday. MK, what a game by Skyrise.
Yeah, what a way to end it. They managed to pull off the death charge. I don't think the survivors were expecting it. I think they were expecting charge spit. But through the jockey and the charger from behind, the Hunter was up top, and they were not ready for it. Managed to get the death charge. Actually, to go in and see if they could tri-cap the survivors. Hunter lands, so did the Smoker. Smoker's cleared. Hunter does eventually get cleared. Charger did miss. And that's basically the attack shutdown, so they're not going to get tri-capped here to end it. Still sitting at a bonus at 964, but it's only 3 survivors when that tank spawns. Tank's definitely going to get some more punches in.
Isn't it wild, with 1 survivor dead, they still have like 1,000 bonus?
Yeah, I was looking at it now, I'm like, what? And I was trying to do the math if it was technically, I think technically it is still possible, but actually no, that they don't have the distance anymore, so I forgot that 1 survivor dying, so you're right, it is GG. Looks like they're going to elect to fight this tank on top of the helipad, maybe?
The spit! That is really unfortunate for the survivors. That's going to be a smoker pull going out onto Rochelle. But that's really the last thing they can do. The helipad is an absolute meme spot. It can go decently, but only if the SI don't realize that they can get blown off the helipad by the wind gusts. I have seen a tank get blown off and then play Rock Tank on the side, but we're not going to see any of that in this match, I don't believe. Nice almost double cap going out there. The Smoker Pole did land, then the Jockey landed, but this Hunter is still in spawn mode. Evoker not taking his pills yet either, playing Rochelle. And, I mean, it's really, really unfortunate for 44 Biceps. You know, this is their last game in this tournament, but they did a really, really nice run, I'd say, since the start of the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament, and they're going to be featured in other tournaments coming up as well. There's a rock, though, landing onto Rochelle. Tank is up in the hands of Frey. The tank is semi-decommitting, but now he's going to throw a rock around the corner, get this lockup onto Rochelle. Hunter is still alive, 2 survivors left. Tank has 5k HP. We're not seeing a redux of the COVID ball here, unfortunately, but Tank is going to get a punch onto Coach. Hunter is going to get blown out of the sky, though, by Ellis right there. Charge is going to land. Tank still has 3.6k HP, throwing a rock at Coach, managing to land it, and that is the GG going out. So Skyrise, in commanding fashion, take this elimination match and move forward in the Quarantine Anniversary Tournament. Top 16, double elimination, lower bracket by a score of 3,848 to 2,409 MK. That's why we love Dyescrayper.
Yeah, I was really shocked to see the death charge on the finale, but it was good distraction by Skyrise who managed to get it out, and also sending that boomerang early before the attack. They just didn't think they were going to make that hit, but they managed to get it and eventually ended up to their demise. But it looks like Skyrise is going to press forward. They're going to play the winner of Ice Cream is Cold and Mad Sad Bad, which is also another match I'm looking forward to later this week. Stay tuned, as we should definitely have it let everybody know when that match will take place, as it is not scheduled yet.
I believe that it's going to be taking place, I know it's going to be taking place on Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure what time. I was watching Purple stream the other day, and I think Bravo asked them if they were going to schedule it for them, but I'm expecting Sunday to be the day for that match. Not 100% sure on the time yet, though, like you mentioned.
Yes, for sure, but that'll bring the end of this match and for this game. So a few shout-outs before we end this here. I want to thank shout-out to Blue for running the tournament. Shout-out to Sir Please, of course, for having all the servers for us to play our games on every day. Listeners happy, and of course shout out to Phil for being the camera woman today, and also thank you very much, Rails, for co-casting with me today. It's enjoyable.
Absolutely. Hoping to see more of those casts very, very soon too.
And of course, thanks to everybody at home watching the match, because without you guys it's not possible. So with that, I'm going to send it off here. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, Rails?
Nope, I completely agree with what you said. Thanks to the admins, thanks to the streamers, thanks to the players, and of course the viewers.
All right, thank you guys very much, and stay tuned for the next game shortly. Have a good one.